Hello everyone, and welcome back to our story corner. Today, I have a wonderful tale for you. A classic story about friendship, adventure, and finding a new purpose when you least expect it. It's called The Town Musicians of Bremen. So, get comfortable, and let's begin. Once upon a time, there was a donkey who had worked hard his whole life for a miller. But now, he was old and weak, and his master thought he was no longer useful. The donkey overheard his master planning to get rid of him, and he knew he had to leave. He was sad, but he had a brilliant idea. I may be old, he thought, but I still have a strong voice. I'll go to the town of Bremen and become a musician. So, the donkey set off on the road to Bremen. He hadn't gone far when he saw a hunting dog lying by the side of the road, panting as if he had run a long, long way. "What's wrong, old hound?" asked the donkey. "Why are you so out of breath?" "Oh, my friend," sighed the dog. "I'm old and getting weaker every day. I can't hunt like I used to, so my master was going to get rid of me. I ran away, but now I don't know how I'll earn my keep." The donkey's ears perked up. "I have an idea," he said cheerfully. "I'm on my way to Bremen to be a musician. I'll play the lute, and you can beat the drums. Why don't you come with me?" The dog loved the idea. His tail started wagging, and he happily joined the donkey. A little further down the road, they came across a cat sitting in the middle of the path, looking as gloomy as a rainy day. "Hello there. What's put such a long face on you?" the donkey asked kindly. "How can I be cheerful?" The cat replied miserably. "I'm getting old. My teeth aren't sharp anymore, and I'd rather sit by the fire than chase mice. My mistress was going to ... Well, I managed to run away, but what am I to do now?" "Come with us to Bremen," the donkey said, with a smile. "You know all about night music, so you can be a singer in our band." The cat thought this was a much better plan than being alone and agreed to join them. So the three friends walked on together. Soon, they passed a farmyard where a rooster was crowing with all his might from the top of a gate. He was so loud, he'd almost hurt their ears. "My goodness," said the donkey. "You're crowing loud enough to wake the whole world. What's all the fuss about?" "I was just predicting good weather for today," said the rooster. "But it won't do me any good. The cook is coming to get me for the soup tomorrow, and I'm crowing for all I'm worth while I still can." "Oh, don't you worry about that, Redcomb," said the donkey. "You have a powerful voice. Come with us. We're going to Bremen to become musicians. With a voice like yours, our music will be magnificent." The rooster flapped his wings with excitement, hopped down from the gate, and the four new friends continued their journey together. But Bremen was still a long way off, and as night began to fall, they found themselves in a dark forest. They were tired and hungry. They decided to find a place to rest for the night. The donkey and the dog lay down under a big oak tree. The cat curled up on a branch, and the rooster, feeling safest up high, flew to the very top. Before he settled down to sleep, the rooster looked all around. In the distance, he saw a tiny speck of light. "Hey everyone," he called down to his friends. "I see a light. There must be a house nearby." "Then we should go there," said the donkey. "It's much better than sleeping out here." The dog agreed, thinking a bone or two would be a wonderful treat. So, they all got up and headed towards the light. The light grew bigger and brighter as they got closer, until they found themselves in front of a cozy-looking house. It was a robber's den. The donkey, being the tallest, crept up to the window and peeked inside. "What do you see, Grey Horse?" the rooster whispered. "What do I see?" replied the donkey. "I see a table loaded with delicious food and drinks, and there are robbers sitting around it, having a grand time." "Oh, that sounds wonderful," said the rooster. "I wish we were in there." Their stomachs rumbled with hunger. They had to figure out a way to get those robbers out of the house. The four friends put their heads together and came up with a clever plan. They decided to make the most unusual music the robbers had ever heard. The donkey placed his front hooves on the windowsill. The dog jumped onto the donkey's back. The cat climbed up onto the dog. And finally, the rooster flew up and perched on the cat's head. They were ready. At a signal, they all began to perform their music. The donkey brayed, The dog barked, the cat meowed, and the rooster crowed. It was a terrible, loud, and frightening noise. Then they all crashed through the window into the room, sending glass flying everywhere. The robbers, who had been laughing and feasting, jumped up in terror. They had never heard such a dreadful sound. They thought a ghost or some terrible monster had broken in. Without a second thought, they screamed and ran out of the house, disappearing into the dark forest as fast as their legs could carry them. The four musicians couldn't believe their luck. They looked around the cozy house and at the feast laid out on the table. They were so hungry, they sat right down and ate until they couldn't eat another bite. After their wonderful meal, they found comfortable spots to sleep. The donkey lay down in the yard, the dog by the back door, the cat by the warm fireplace, and the rooster on the roof. They were so tired from their journey that they fell fast asleep. Later that night, the robber captain sent one of his men back to the house to see if it was safe. The robber crept quietly into the kitchen. It was completely dark. He saw two glowing coals in the fireplace and thought he could use them to light his candle. But those weren't coals. They were the cat's eyes, shining in the dark. When the robber got close, the cat hissed and scratched his face. The robber yelled in fright and ran for the back door. But as he ran past, the dog, who was lying there, bit him on the leg. The robber stumbled out into the yard, right where the donkey was lying. The donkey gave him a powerful kick with his hind legs. As the terrified robber ran away, the rooster on the roof, woken by all the noise, crowed. Cock-a-doodle. The robber ran back to his captain, trembling with fear. "It's horrible," he cried. "There's a terrible witch in the house who scratched me with her long fingernails. By the door, a man with a knife stabbed me in the leg. In the yard, a huge monster hit me with a giant club. And on the roof, a judge was shouting, 'Bring the scoundrel to me!'" After hearing this terrifying story, the robbers never dared to go near the house again. And what about our four friends? They loved their new home so much that they decided not to go to Bremen after all. They had everything they needed: a warm house, plenty of food, and most importantly, each other. The donkey, the dog, the cat, and the rooster lived happily together for the rest of their days, making music just for themselves. And that's the story of the Town Musicians of Bremen. It just goes to show that no matter how old you are, you can always find a new adventure and new friends. It is a beautiful reminder that working together and being kind can lead to the most wonderful surprises. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this classic tale as much as I enjoyed telling it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. We love having you here with us. Until next time, take care and keep reading.